And as we invite on the people doing the recording, we'll just let you know that we're not going to need any specific equipment today, just your body and your mat. And we'll make our way over to our mats. We'll begin lying down. So head on over and find your way down all the way onto your back. And as always, if it's more comfortable with a little support under your head, go ahead and put a blanket or a pillow under your head. Plant your feet solidly on the ground, on the floor, on the mat. And just let your arms be heavy at your side. And I often notice when I lie down, there's just this like sigh that comes out of us. There's like a feeling. And that's one of the reasons we begin lying down, is to invite that relaxation response and then to recognize what that is. What is that feeling? What happens in your body when you lie down? There's that relaxation response. The body doesn't have to do any work to hold us up. And then there's this recognition that the ground is beneath us, supporting us. And there's that recognition that the ground is really solid. It's always there, it's reliable. And when we tap into those qualities in us, we can feel really solid and steady and reliable and grounded ourselves. So we begin by grounding ourselves, feeling that connection to the ground, and feeling our bodies. So in this moment, as you check in with your body, how is your physical body feeling this morning, right now? And how are you feeling mentally and emotionally this morning? Really acknowledge, recognize, and try to offer yourself understanding and empathy for how you're feeling. And as we're cultivating awareness of how we're feeling, let's begin to breathe a little more deeply. So feel your in-breath and feel your out-breath. And slow them down and deepen them both. Deepen the inhalation, let it expand. And deepen the exhalation, let it empty all the way out. Finding your own breath rhythm here for a full deep breath in and a complete letting go of breath. Over time, we really, with practice, understand how it feels to let the breath empty out. And there's many of us who don't exhale fully at all in a given day, and especially in a busy day. We kind of do quick, shallow breathing. But when we understand the calming nature of a full release of breath, we can recognize that we have this tool in our toolbox, this very simple technique that we can use to calm ourselves, to just let the breath empty all the way out. That next breath will very naturally flow in. And we can feel it expanding in our bodies. And then we appreciate and enjoy that full release of breath, resetting our nervous system to that calm setting. So we're cultivating mindful awareness of how we're feeling right now. And given how we're feeling, let's take a moment to consider if there's something we'd like to focus on this morning in our practice, something we'd want to invite in or cultivate or set as our theme for our morning practice. What do you need? What can you offer yourself? Breathe it in. And maybe come back to that throughout this morning's practice, maybe throughout the whole day. Maybe it'll stay this focus, or maybe you'll find that there's something else that you'd like to cultivate. But it's nice to have sort of your inspiration to guide you. So let's take one more deep breath in and out. And then when you're ready, you can open your eyes. We'll begin by taking our arms up toward the ceiling, fingertips toward the ceiling, palms facing each other. And we'll reach the arms up toward the ceiling so the shoulders lift off the floor. And then I want you to just let your shoulders drop back. Just kind of drop them into the floor. So we're going to reach up, shoulders come off the floor, and then drop them back. So the heaviness drops back into the floor. And when they drop back, your elbows are kind of soft. A couple more times. Reach up, shoulders round forward, they protract. And then we're just going to drop them back, heavy. Back of the shoulders, feel them on the floor. One more time, reaching up, shoulders round forward, and then we drop them back. So now with the shoulders dropped back and heavy, kind of feel the broadening in the collarbones and continue that broadening out into your arms as you open your arms out to the side. Open your arms out to the side until you're hovering them a couple inches off the floor. And just imagine that your collarbones continued all the way out to your wrists, to your fingertips. And see if you can kind of soften the inner line of your arms, soften and hollow out your armpits. And as you're doing that, can you feel how more of the back of your shoulder is connected to the ground? And then see if you can keep the back of your shoulder on the ground as you start to bring your arms back up toward the ceiling. So the arms are reaching back up slowly, gradually, but the back of the shoulders are heavy down. They're not rounding forward like we did earlier. And then once your fingertips are reaching up toward the ceiling, begin to reach your arms overhead so that your thumbs are reaching back toward the floor overhead. And maybe your arms come alongside your ears, or maybe they go a little further. So with your arms overhead in this way, a lot of times what happens is our ribs start to lift up toward the ceiling or pop up toward the ceiling. So keeping the arms overhead now, take a breath in. And as you exhale, begin to knit your low ribs back down into your belly. You might start to feel more of the back of the low ribs contact the floor if that had lifted up. Do that again. Take a breath in. On your exhale, just knit the front of your low ribs down into your belly as your arms are overhead, kind of freeing up maybe some tightness in the muscles of the chest. We'll take another breath in. And as we exhale this time, let's try to keep the back of the shoulders down on the floor as we reach the arms back up toward the ceiling, fingertips toward the ceiling. So this is what we just did, is called shoulder reset, shoulders back and down. Let's actually just bring our arms down at our side for a moment. And just take a moment to notice how you feel in the area of the neck and shoulders. For some of us, that may have created a feeling of openness or ease or freedom in those muscles. So just notice and feel and breathe. And then let's reach the arms up toward the ceiling again without lifting the shoulders off the floor. We're going to bend the elbows so we have right angle arms. And let's take our feet off the floor and we'll have bent knees and bent arms. Dead bug position. From here, we're going to lift the arms and legs up. As the legs go up, you get a little stretch. You can kind of flex and point your feet a few times and loosen up a little bit. And then let's bend arms and knees again to that dead bug position. So we're going to go up and down like this, breathing in as we go up, breathing out as we bend. We'll inhale to lift and exhale to bend. One more time like that. Inhale to lift and exhale to bend. Now we're going to do opposite arm and opposite leg. So take one arm and the opposite leg up and then go back to bend. And do the other side. Other arm and other leg go up and then back to bend. Do that a few more times. Moving with your breath. Just really focusing on your movement. So not looking at your device, but just moving in this simple way. Opposite arm and opposite leg up and down. And then after the next time you come to the bent knee, bent arm position, let's take arms and legs straight up toward the ceiling. And we're going to draw an imaginary line down the center of our body, nose, chin, sternum, pubic bone. That's your midline. I want you to focus on your midline now as you start to take one leg out to the side. As that leg goes out to the side, can you keep the midline steady? Not let the hips rock or lift or turn. Take the opposite arm out to the other side and take a breath. And then on the exhale, bring that arm and leg back up. Then the other leg starts to go out to the side and keep your midline steady. Don't let it shift. Take the opposite arm out to the other side and take a breath. And then bring that arm and leg back up. So focus on the midline. Take opposite arm and opposite leg out to the side. Breathe in. And exhale, arm and leg back up. And just continue like that, focusing on the midline. Full awareness on keeping that midline steady. There's no shift from your chin all the way down to the pubic bone, so that lower part of the midline stays in line with the upper part of the midline. And we're moving with our breath. So to keep that midline steady, the core really has to fire. You take that leg out so that it's challenging to keep the midline steady, but you can do it. So let's do this a few more times, opening out to the side and coming back up. And again, inhaling as you open, exhaling as you come back up. Last time here. And then from here, we're going to change it up. We're going to take one arm overhead and the other leg, we have an option. We can either tap the toe down and bring the leg up or extend that leg out so it's a couple inches off the floor. And then as the leg comes up, the arm comes up. So one arm and the other leg overhead and down. And then we bring that arm and leg back up. We can inhale as the arm and leg extend and exhale as they come back up. And then just focusing on the breath and the movement here. Back of the shoulder stays down as the arm goes overhead, as the arm comes back up. We'll do a few more of these. So this Dead Bug series is designed to wake up the core, and we're waking up the brain, getting the two sides of the brain working together with this contralateral movement here. So last one, arm and leg extend, and then they come back up. If you want a little break, you could hug your knees in here if you like. We have one more layer of Dead Bug. We're going to take the arms overhead again, thumbs reaching back. You might just be reaching back, or you might have the back of your hands on the floor, whatever's comfortable. We're gonna take a breath in. As we exhale, we'll press out through the heels, and then we're gonna slowly, gradually start to take the legs away. And the goal is gonna be to keep the low back from arching off the floor. How far can you go? When your low back starts to arch more than a little bit, we're gonna draw the knees in and inhale the legs up, and then press out through the heels. And with the exhale, we're gonna lower the legs away. And you might go just a short distance and then you feel the back starting to arch. So then you bring the knees in. You might go a little further. It's different for each of us, but the low belly is gonna fire to try to keep the low back from arching. And when we really can't keep it from arching any further, we're gonna draw the knees in. We might do this 1 or 2 more times, going at your own pace here, really paying attention to what's going on in the low back. Let's do this last one here. And after the legs extend as far as they're gonna go this time, when you draw the knees in this time, take your arms overhead, grab onto your knees and hug them in. Release the low back. You might sway a bit here. Just connect, feel. What are you breathing in? What are you offering yourself this morning? Sway center and then draw your knees apart. We're going to let our hands rest on the inner part of the knees, and just kind of the weight of the arms are going to help to maybe drop the knees a little further apart. You could kind of sway a little bit here as well if that feels good. Take another breath. And then you can guide your hands to the outsides of the knees and just press the knees back in. We'll release our feet down and let's roll to the side. Roll to the side so you're facing your device. You can have your head on a pillow or just let it rest on your bottom arm. We're going to bring our knees kind of straight out from our hips. If we stack the knees, we'll stack the hips. Put your hand on your top hip. We're going to try and keep this hip as it is. We're going to try not to let that hip roll back. Take the top leg, bring it up to the height of your hip. Just bring the knee in. And then we're going to extend that leg straight in line with your body. Let's point the toe, and we're just going to take that leg back a bit. So as the leg goes back, we start to get a little stretch in the front of the hip, and we're going to activate the back of the leg, hamstrings and glutes. And then let's bring that leg forward, straight out, height of the hip, foot can be flexed here, and then bring the knee into the chest. And again, press the leg out straight, point the toe and take the leg back. Now the tendency is for the hip to roll forward there, or maybe your hip rolls back. Try to keep your hip right over the other hip as the leg goes back, pointing the toe. Yeah. And then bend the knee, bring the knee in, extend the heel forward. Let's swing the leg straight, point the toe and take it back. Bend the knee and bring it in, extend the heel straight, swing the leg straight, point the toe and take it back. Hip stays steady, hip isn't moving here. Keep that hip right on top of the other hip. Isolate the movement just in the leg, not in the hip or the pelvis here. One more time like this. Swing that leg straight, take the toe behind, and then bring that leg back so it's again lined up with your body. We're just going to lift it up and lower it, lift it up and lower it, lift it up and lower it. Let's make some circles, up and around, circle it up and around, circle it up and around. One more time in this direction, and then we're going to change direction, circle it back and around and up. And again, the hips don't move. This top hip staying right over the bottom hip, just moving the leg. Last time here, we're just going to hold that leg strong, press out through the heel, and then we'll release that knee on top of the other knee. Let's push up and go to the other side. Lowering down on the other side, head supported, however's comfortable for you. You could have a blanket under there, a pillow. We're going to stack the knees, one right on top of the other, and that's where the hip is going to stay. And then we're going to bring the knee in. We're going to press out with the foot forward. We're going to swing that leg out straight at the height of the hip, in line with the body. And then we'll point the toe and take it a little bit behind. Feel that stretch in the front of the hip. Feel the back of the leg firing. And then bring the knee in. Extend that heel forward. Swing the leg straight. Point the toe and take it behind you. Bring the knee in. Extend the heel straight. Bring the leg out straight. Point and take it back. Couple more like this. Try to keep that leg at the height of the hip here. Try to keep the hip steady. Point, bring it in, extend it forward, bring it straight, point it back. Last time like this, bring the leg forward. We're going to bring that leg straight now. We'll just lift and lower a few times, waking up the outer hip a little bit here. And can we keep the hip right where it is and just circle the leg around a few times forward? Pelvis, is it moving? And then we'll do a few circles in the other direction here. Nice job holding steady. Just moving the leg. The next time we circle the leg around, let's just hold that leg out straight, press out through the heel, take a breath. Good work. And then rest that leg on your other leg. All right, we're going to come around to all fours. And as you come onto all fours, just move around a little bit in any way that feels good. You might take your hips a little side to side. You might move your head or shake your head a little bit. You could do cat or cow, so you could extend or arch your back. You might move your shoulders. Just spend a little time here, moving around in a way that feels like you're kind of loosening up and freeing up. Maybe breathe in what you're offering yourself this morning. And one more movement, one more breath here. And then just coming to your neutral hands and knees position. From here, we're going to do a couple different things. First, I want you to take your hand and touch your opposite knee, and then put it back down. And take the hand and touch the opposite knee. So this is going to be a progression. So level one, we just take a hand, place it back down. Touch the opposite knee, place it back down. Now you could lift the knee up, and you're going to bring the knee towards the opposite elbow and then put it back down. We're going to lift the knee up, bring it towards the opposite elbow and put it back down. So we can just be doing that, knee towards the opposite elbow. And you could alternate that with lifting a hand and putting it back down. All right, now the next level is as you lift the knee up and bring it towards the opposite elbow, can you touch that knee and then put the hand and knee down? Lift the knee up, bring it towards the opposite elbow, touch that knee, and bring the knee back down. So we could be working here, touching the opposite knee. The next layer would be, we're going to curl the toes under, and we're going to hover the knees a little bit off the floor. And then one option is to take the knee towards the opposite elbow, and then put it back, put the foot back down. Take the knee towards the opposite elbow, put the foot back down. We're trying to keep the knees close to the floor here. So we can do it like this, knee to opposite elbow. The final way, as the knee comes across, can you touch that knee with your opposite hand? Can you bring the knee in and touch it with your opposite hand? So all kinds of options here, all kinds of layers. Just play around with this. Find the one that works for you. And if you're touching the knee, there's a little more work for the shoulders. If you keep your hands down, you just bring the knee across, there's a little more work for the core. So one isn't necessarily better than the other. But let's do whatever variation we're doing a couple more times. And you might switch it up. And then let's all come back to knees. We're going to take child's pose. So sit back on your heels. Arms could be out in front. They could be supporting your head, or you might want to bring them alongside your body. Give your shoulders a little rest. Let your head be supported if you can. Breathe in and out. Check in. What are we offering ourselves this morning? What are we inviting in? Then with your next inhale, lift your head up. We'll reach our arms way out in front, hands as wide as shoulders or maybe a bit wider. Let's come onto knees, curl the toes under, and come up to downward facing dog. Really grounding through the hands now, fingers, thumbs, knuckles, contacting the floor. Head just dangling here. Shake the head a few times, release your neck. Bend your knees a bit. Draw your hips way up and back. Deep breath in and out here. Let's pedal the heels. We'll bend a knee and press a heel down. Bend the other knee and press the other heel down. Try to get those heels going straight back. Your feet are about as wide as your hips. And you're just letting those heels press towards the floor one at a time. Then let's bend both our knees a bit. And again, take the hips way up and back. So there's less weight on your hands as your hips pull way up and back. Deep breath in and out. And then we'll walk our hands back towards our feet, lowering the heels, ending up folded over, bent knees, nice and loose upper body, just kind of dangling here. With your feet nice and grounded, reach up, grab onto your elbows, let the weight of your arms and head dangle down. Breathe in and sway to one side. Exhale and release center. Breathe in and sway to the other side. Exhale and release center. Let your arms drop and dangle. Take a big breath into your upper back. Let the breath release. Draw your belly in and begin to roll yourself up. Feel your spine stacking upon itself, vertebra by vertebra. Eventually bring your head up. As your feet are planted, take the arms out wide. And then as you root down, reach up, lift and lengthen. Big breath in as you stretch up. And then exhale, arms all the way down at your side. Great. Let's turn towards our device. With our feet right beneath us, we're just going to lift our heels up a little bit. And then lift our heels up real high. And then we're going to lower for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, and down. Let's try that again. Lift the heels a little bit off the floor. If you want to have the wall or a chair to hold on to here, go right ahead. Come up nice and high, and then can you lower slowly? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Waking up the muscles in the feet. All right, let's do it again. Lift the heels a little bit. Lift the heels up real high, and then slowly lower. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Great. We're going to work on balance a little more. So again, if you want to have the wall or a chair nearby, that's fine. We're going to put the weight on one foot and we're going to bring the other knee up. And then we're going to take that knee out to the side. Let's just bring our hands to heart, get them out of the way. All right, the knee is out to the side. Now we're going to turn the heel back. So the knee is still out to the side, but the heel is behind. And then we're going to drop that knee down. So again, we're going to bring the knee forward. We're going to take it out to the side. We're going to take the heel back, but the knee is still out to the side. And then we're going to bring it down. We're going to reverse that. So we're going to take the knee out to the side, and then we're going to bring the knee up, heel comes down. Then we're going to bring the knee forward, and we're going to lower it down. Same thing again, we're going to go out to the side, and then bring the knee out to the side, and then bring the knee forward, and then bring it down. Let's try that on the other leg. We're going to bring the knee up, then we're going to take it out to the side, and then we're going to take the heel back, and then we're going to lower the knee down. So the knee comes up in front, and then it goes out to the side, and then the heel goes back, and then we drop it down. Let's go the other way. Knee goes out to the side first, and then the knee lifts up to the side, then the knee comes forward, and it goes down. Heel is behind. We're going to take the knee out to the side, lift the knee up to the side, bring the knee forward, and drop the knee down. Good job. All right. Let's float a little bit. We'll come to the top of our mats. We'll find our mountain posture. So grounding down through the feet to stand tall. Let's reach the arms out and broaden. And then reach the arms up, lengthen and lift, big breath. And then big swan dive. Knees can soften as we fold over, head dangling here. Let's take a breath into the upper back. And then as we exhale, we'll extend the heart forward. We could bring hands to shins if we like here. Then we'll inhale again, rounding forward. As we exhale, we'll bring our hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. As we ground through the hands here, we'll draw the hips up and back, breathe in, and then exhale and lower to straight arm plank. Take a breath here, nice and strong, nice and long. We're going to try a little bend in the elbows here. If you need to drop your knees down behind, go right ahead. Try to bend your elbows back towards your heels without letting your hips lower down. Take a breath here. And then as we exhale, we're going to lower all the way onto belly. You might drop to knees first and then lower your chest into the mat. As you come down, really let your chest sink into the floor. Slide the heels of your hands back a bit. Let's slide the shoulder blades a little bit up towards the ears. Slide the shoulder blades down toward the heels. Do that again. Just feel where your shoulder blades are. Slide them up and then slide them down. And then let them land right where they live, but with awareness of where they are now. So from right between the shoulder blades now, start to lift your chest up. As you're lifting up, pull your heart forward, maybe press back a little bit with the heel of your hand, like a turtle pulling its head out of its shell, but pulling from the chest, not from the head. And then lower back down. Let's do that again, from right between the shoulder blades. Inhale, lift up, pull the heart forward. And as we're here in baby cobra, let's lift our hands off the floor, lift our elbows up and hug them in. And then lower the hands, lower the chest. This time with hands on the floor, we'll inhale up to baby cobra. We could stay here or come up a bit further, pulling the heart forward, coming up into cobra, and then lowering back down. Nice. Let's push up to knees, curl the toes under and lift the knees, and then lift the hips up and back to down dog. We'll breathe in and out here. We'll look forward a bit and walk our feet up towards our hands, ending up folded over again. And then let's sweep our arms out, inhale and rise. Reach up and exhale, arms down at our sides. Again, grounding down, inhale, reach your arms out and up. Exhale and swan dive forward. Bring your hands to the floor and step back to downward facing dog. Take a breath here. Pull those hips up and back. Exhale to straight arm plank. Take a breath here. Exhale, a little bend in the elbows. Take another breath. Exhale and lower all the way down to belly. Prone mountain. Nice and long. Let's inhale up to baby cobra or cobra. And exhale back down. And then make your way up and back to downward facing dog. Nice job. Breathe in and out here. And then I'd like you to lower onto your knees. And we're going to step the right foot out in front. Bring the hands back down on either side of that foot. Let the back hip come forward or down. And then take your left hand, place it on the floor. Take your right arm straight out to the side, and then lift that right arm up. So you're twisting and opening to the right. That right knee might drop out to the side, but hug it back in towards your midline. Take a breath here. And then bring the right hand back down. Great. Let's just, oh, I know what we're going to do from here. So your foot and your knee are hip distance apart. We're going to curl the back toes under. And if you can, could you lift up to a lunge here? Nice low lunge. Then bring your hands onto the front knee and lift up into a lunge with your knee off the floor. Could you might stay here with your hands on your knees, or could you bring your hands to heart here? Support this internally. Take a breath here. Get nice and long. With your exhale, let's twist again to the right. Your hands could stay to heart, or you could take the elbow to the outside of the knee and deepen that twist. Twist around, take a breath here. As the breath empties, you can unwind yourself. Bring your hands back to the floor. We'll drop the back knee down, and we're going to push the weight back. And we're going to change legs. So then, right knee comes down, take your left foot out in front, lean into it, and bring your hands down on either side of that knee. Let the back hip sink forward and down. And then your right hand on the floor, take your left arm out to the side, and then open that arm up. So this left knee often drops out to the side. Hug it in towards the midline as you press down and reach up. Take a breath. Nice. And then bring that hand back down. Now we're going to curl the back toes under and press up to a low lunge. And then could we bring our hands up onto the front knee, coming up a bit, but staying in this low lunge. And you might need hands supporting you, or maybe bring hands to heart. Take a breath here and exhale and twist to the left. Hands could stay to heart, or the elbow could go to the outside of the knee to deepen that twist. We'll take a breath here. And then as we exhale, we'll unwind. We'll bring our hands back down. We could drop the back knee down. All right, let's bring that front knee back and make our way to downward facing dog. And we'll breathe in and out here. So to get into a lunge, we always have the option to drop to the knees and step the foot forward into a lunge like we just did. Another option, we'll take the right leg up in the air, taking a breath. We can bend that knee, pull it up and in, look forward, and step that foot out in front. We'll get into that right foot forward lunge again. And this time as we press into the front foot, let's straighten the front leg and rise up. Hands coming to hips. Let's bend the front knee forward now, and then push the front foot down to straighten. We're going to bend the front knee forward and push down to straighten. If we can, we have the back heel lifted and pointing straight back to get the optimal stretch in the front of that leg, in the front of that hip. So we'll bend and straighten one more time. And then the next time we bend the knee, we'll keep it bent. The energy of the knee and shin is going forward. The energy of that same sitting bone pulling back. We'll drop the arms down and lift the heart up. And let's reach the arms out and reach them up and overhead. Shoulders and ribs lift up as we take a breath. And then we'll exhale our hands all the way down to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Breathe in and out here. When we're ready, we'll take the left leg up in the air, breathing in. We'll bend that knee, hug it in, look forward and step that foot through to lunge. Get into that low lunge. When we're ready, we're going to push into the front foot. Inhale and rise up. Straighten that front leg. As your hands come to your hips, square your hips to the front line of your mat so the back heel is pointing straight back. And then we bend into the front knee. We'll push the front foot down to straighten. Couple more like that. Bend the front knee. Push the foot down to straighten. Again, bend and straighten, and bend and straighten. This time, let's bend the front knee and keep it bent. The energy of the knee and shin is going forward, but the energy of that same sitting bone is pulling back. Arms can drop down, and then let's reach them out and up and overhead. Lift up, stretch up as you breathe in. And then exhale your hands all the way down to the floor. Step back to downward facing dog. Nice work. Breathe in and out here. We'll flow one more time into straight arm plank. Then a little bend in the elbows. And then lowering all the way down, prone mountain. We'll inhale up to baby cobra or cobra. And exhale back down. And make our way up and back to down dog. Breathing in and out here. Let's again walk our hands back towards our feet now. Lowering the heels, folding over here. From here, we'll bend our knees and lower our hips. Let's sweep the arms forward, sitting back in our low chair. Can we keep the hips low and reach the arms up alongside the ears? We'll breathe in and out here. And then push down to straighten up. Reach up, breathe in, and then exhale, arms down. Nice work. All right, let's come into a wide stride. We'll turn the right foot in, and we'll turn the left foot out. With this back foot angled in, really feel that foot planted. And then let's bend the front knee. So we get the knee right over the foot, the heel, the arch maybe. Hips kind of level here, and then we'll just straighten. Do that a few times. Bend and straight, and bend and straight. This time we're going to bend the knee and keep it bent. And let's try lifting that front heel up just a bit. And then imagine you're pulling that heel back towards the midline. Like you're tugging that heel back. And that's going to fire up the inner line of the leg and into the pelvic floor. We'll take a breath here. And then let that heel go back down. Let's take another breath here. And on this exhale, we're going to tip the hips over and bring the forearm on the front thigh. Let's take the other arm out in front and sweep it up and overhead. Thumb up, pinky down. So the arm is kind of rolled down. Now let's roll the belly and chest under the arm to face wherever you're facing here, the long line of your mat. Take a breath here, reaching long with that top arm. As we exhale, we're going to rotate the head to look down at the floor, releasing the neck. Take one more breath, reaching long with that arm that's overhead. And then on the exhale, sweep that arm down, reach it back behind you. Inhale and rise up to proud warrior. Getting nice and broad and open here. Across the collarbones, across the upper back. Take a breath here. Feel your spine nice and tall. Exhale your back hand on your back leg. Turn your front palm up. Inhale that arm up towards the ceiling as the back arm slides down a bit. Then come back to your proud warrior, opening out wide. Take one more breath. Exhale, release your arms and straighten the front leg. Great. Turn your feet forward, go to the other side. So left foot turns in, right foot turns out. Really get your feet planted and then bend your front knee. Get the knee over the heel or the arch. Hips are level here now. And then let's just straighten the front leg and bend the front knee. And do that a few times. Getting some movement into this back hip, into this outer ankle. The next time the front knee is bent, pause there. And then we're going to lift that front heel up just a teeny bit and pull that heel back towards the midline. It's not actually going to move, but the energy is pulling that heel back. Take a breath. And then release that heel down. From right down here now, from the pelvis, we're going to tip the hips over and bring this bottom arm on the bottom leg. Other arm can come out in front. Let's sweep that arm up and overhead, thumb up, pinky down, and then roll the belly and chest
to face your device. Take a breath here, reaching long. Exhale and release your head down to look down at the floor. Reach overhead one more time with a breath in, and then sweep that arm down in front. Then reach it back behind you. Inhale and rise up to proud warrior. So you're nice and broad and open here as you reach out. Let's take another breath. We'll exhale the back hand on the back leg. Turn this front palm up. Inhale that arm up towards the ceiling as the back arm slides down. Then come back to proud warrior, opening out wide. And take one more breath here. Open and tall. And then exhale, arms down. We'll straighten the front leg. Let's turn the feet forward. With your feet parallel, hands on hips, let's let the hips come a little bit forward. We're going to lift the heart up. We're going to draw the elbows back and in. So a little bit of a back bend here as we breathe in. And then use your belly to pull yourself upright and then start to hinge forward to flat back. You can have a little softness in the knees here as you come to flat back. And as you continue to fold over, your hands can slide down your legs. Your head could drop down. So we might have soft bent knees here, or we might want to try and straighten the legs and lift the sitting bones up as you pull the head in and down. Either passive or active here is fine. Breathe in and out. Then lift your head up a little bit and bring your hands to the floor. You might need to bend your knees a bit. Turn your right foot out. Bend the knee towards the foot. Let the hips lower down. You can walk your hands over to that side. And you can keep the other foot on the floor, or you could lift it up a little bit. And then come back to center. Walk your hands center. Turn your feet forward. We're going to turn the left foot out, walking over that way. Bend the knee over the toes. Let the hips lower down. And the other foot could be down. You could lift the forefoot up a little bit. Let's try that again. We're going to walk back to center, turn the feet forward. We're going to start to walk to the right, turn the right foot out, bend that knee, and drop the hips down, maybe lifting the other foot. And then come back to center, bring your feet forward, and we'll turn the left foot out, bend the knee, lower the hips, maybe rotate the foot up, and then come back to center. Nice work. Okay, feet parallel. Head can drop down again. Can you bring your hands to hips, push into your feet and legs, inhale and come halfway up, pause here, and then with your next inhale, push down again to rise all the way up. Good job. You can walk your feet together or jump your feet in. Okay, we're going to come down to kneeling, and we're going to just do our little rabbit variation of headstand, where we're not going to kick our feet up in the air. We're going to have our feet and maybe our knees on the floor, but just put a little bit of weight on the crown of the head. So if you have headstand practice, you can just go right into it. You could go to a wall and kick up if you like, but if you want to do just this gentle version to put a little challenge in the strength of the muscles in the neck and to put a little impact and so maybe strengthen the bones of the neck, we're just going to think about where we would balance a book on our head. Just kind of maybe put your hand there. Imagine you're going to balance a book on your head. And the part where the book would be balanced is the part of the head that we're going to put on the floor. So if you're not familiar, watch me first. We're going to put our head on the floor, and then we're just going to clasp our hands behind our head so our forearms rest on the floor. And one option is to just be here with our knees down. And the other option is going to be to lift the knees up and put a little more weight. So if you've been watching and you're ready to try it, let's do it together. We're going to place the part of our head where we balance book on the floor, and then we're going to just cradle the back of the head with our hands. Our forearms are down, and we could be here with our knees down, just a little amount of weight on the head. We could curl the toes under and lift the knees up, put a little more weight on the head. There's quite a bit of weight on your forearms pressing down as well. And of course, if someone wants to kick up into a headstand, you're welcome to do so. But we can get the benefits of this pose without kicking all the way up. And the benefits are this grounding down through the central point of the head can help us to feel much more grounded. And we're bearing a little weight. We're putting a little impact on the bones in the cervical spine, and we're strengthening the muscles of the neck here. So we're just going to take a breath, and then we're going to come down to our knees if they were lifted, and we're going to all transition to child's pose. So we're just going to make sure our head is supported. Maybe one fist tapped upon the other, or a block under your head, or your head resting on your arms or on the floor. Make sure your forehead is supported here so your neck can release and relax as you breathe in and out. All right, when you're ready, you can start to lift your head up. We're going to make our way around to sitting, facing forward. And we're going to have our legs out in front. Okay, we're just going to do some seated twist variations. So let's bring the right leg in. And one option is going to be to have the foot on the inside of the leg. And the other option is going to be to have the foot crossed over. If you can get this foot down, you probably want to have the foot crossed over. If it feels better to have the foot here, that's fine too. All right, let's take the right hand behind to kind of provide some support so we can root the sitting bones down and straighten ourselves up. This hand can be holding the knee, it can be hugging the knee, it can be across, whatever works best for you. Root down to rise up and take a breath. And then start to spiral your ribs, chest, shoulders around to the right. Your head can follow. You might adjust your arm position as you go. Spiral yourself around, and then take a few deep breaths in and out here. Be sure to allow your exhale to empty and release all the way out before the next breath moves in. Let the exhale be a releasing and a letting go here now. And after your next full release of breath, you could begin to unwind back around to the front. We'll change legs. So again, this foot could be on the inside of the other leg, or maybe you can get the foot down as you cross it over. And then that left arm goes behind for support so that you're not leaning back. You want to be more upright. We're going to take a breath here. On the exhale, we'll spiral around towards that arm behind. Ribs, chest, shoulders. Head and neck can follow around. You might change your arm position as you go. And then we're going to take some deep breaths in and out here. Let your exhale be an emptying. Feel the movement of your breath in the body in this twisted posture. At the bottom of your next exhale, you can begin to unwind yourself back around and uncross that leg. Nice work. All right, we're going to transition to our final relaxation. So as always, if it's a little cool where you are, you might want to put on a layer or put on some socks. As you lie back, you want to feel supported, so that might mean a pillow under you or something over you. So set yourself up so you're nice and warm and comfortable. And then we're going to lie ourselves back. And this time we'll have straight legs so that our legs can completely relax. If it's more comfortable with something under your knees, put something there. And just drop the weight of your body into the floor.
So here's where we let go of instruction. We let go of the need to do any particular thing. We let go of control, the need to be this way or that. And we just allow ourselves to settle into a very easy, natural, relaxed state. Little by little, layer by layer, softening, releasing, unclenching, ungripping, unfurrowing, smoothing, relaxing, letting go. And just letting ourselves be as we are now. Letting the body and the mind rest. As you continue resting back, I'm just going to share some words from my favorite, Dana Falls. She says, "Life comes as is. No warranties. No extra buttons sewn inside the sleeve. No spare tire in the trunk. The twists and turns of circumstance or illness catch us unaware. Each day, 1,000 reasons to despair, lament, forget the reason we are here. And yet, despite the odds, the flame inside each one of us burns true. Like butterflies emerging from cocoons, we learn to spread our wings and fly. We seek and find the light. This body-mind is born with all that is required to know freedom. Over time, we find life's only guarantee. We cannot be separated from divinity, nor cut off from the source of our supply. Yes,
We will age and die, yet that is but a change in form. The essence of us soars as freely as a butterfly over fields of wildflowers, beauty sipping nectar, blessed and evanescent. In form and essence, we are beauty, whole and simply present. So, as you connect with that divinity that's within you, that spark that is you, let's start to slowly make our way out of our relaxation. You might begin to open your eyes, begin to bring your feet to the floor. You can gently roll to your side, spend a little time there, transitioning. When you're ready, you can make your way up to sitting. And it's nice to take a few moments to close out your practice for some quiet reflection, prayer, gratitude, whatever inspires you. Just taking a few moments to appreciate all that we have, all that we are. It's a great way to take some time each day, and then maybe setting an intention for how we want to move forward this morning. With peace and love. Thanks for being here. So I appreciate you spending your time here, and I hope you all have a really wonderful day.